day 3 in the books. Good day. You know, I think our first 3 days it's been you know, it's been really fun to see our guys get out on the field. I thought our tempo is getting better offensively. I know that's something that's really going to be an emphasis for us and has so far. But you know, the one thing I like about our guys is when you challenge them on certain things, I think they try to rise to the challenge. I think that's a sign of a mature team and a team that's hungry. And you know, after 3 days, I'm really pleased with that, the effort and so forth. And you know, the first 2 days we kind of split practice, so we're able to get our young guys a lot of work, which I thought was really good. You know, these freshmen, these kids that are new to our program, you can spend some one-on-one time with them, and that's been really good. And I think that's going to help them grow, because I think when it's all said and done, I think a few of the freshmen, really on both sides of the ball, are going to have to help us and at least provide some depth. So, but overall, really good 3 days, a good start. You know, obviously a lot of things to clean up, but at the same time, really pleased with the effort and attitude, and looking forward to keep improving here during fall camp.
How much carryover has there been from the spring with your quarterbacks, and how has Sean White picked up with it, knowing that this was his first time on the field?
Yeah, been a lot of carryover. You know, we did get Sean in the spring some with Skelly and 7-on-7, and he was dialed in really good to in all our meetings and stuff. But it's been a lot of carryover. I think it's been a really smooth transition, you know, and from the spring and all the way into the fall. And those guys worked hard on their own on their practices this summer. You can tell that. You know, you can tell when a team you know, has done a lot in the summer. I think our older players, our leaders of our team, have done a really nice job of keeping things going this summer, and really pleased with that so far.
What are your
last year they got a little bit thin running back. How about this year? You think you got enough guys to get through?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. We got some guys we're still evaluating, trying to find that third, fourth guy, you know, between Malik and Cam, and, you know, we got Devin now. So I think we got a good nucleus there, but, you know, still looking for, you know, to see kind of who steps up and plays that role for us. But really like so far what I've seen.
How do you go about splitting the carries between KJ and Cam and just getting them to buy into that whole process?
Yeah, I think, you know, those guys are older guys, mature, been around here for a while, so I think they get that. They understand how important it is to have 2 or 3 backs. Some of it will probably be situational. Some of it will be who's hot. Some of it will be, you know, game plan wise. So we'll definitely have a really good plan for making sure they're a big part of our offense.
Chip, how's the dynamic between you and Gus as far as the offense? You kind of talk about how that works.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, he's really been great as far as, you know, he's a guy that you can lean on for a lot of advice. Okay, hey, have you guys done this drill in the past, or what's been going on? But, you know, from the standpoint of my relationship with him, it's been great. We're on the same page, obviously, from what we're doing offensively, and I think it's been a really smooth transition.
What are your plans, you know, for the next few days with your quarterbacks? What kind of situations do you put them in, knowing that you're not going to tackle them in a scrimmage, to kind of see what you get out of them?
Well, you know, and so we're, you know, we don't practice tomorrow, so a lot of film, a lot of cleanup from 3 days. You know, that's the one good thing about not practicing tomorrow. We get a lot of meeting time where we can clean up our mistakes. And I think for us, it's just like you say, putting them in different situations. As we get through camp, we'll hit third down several times. We'll hit red zone several times. Teaching them, you know, situational football. I think that's important for quarterbacks to understand the situation of the game in a 2-minute situation, 4-minute situation, and all that. So we'll just continue to try to evaluate them. You know, obviously going live is you know, got another element to it, but at the same time, you know, 2 of the 3 guys we got have played before, and we feel like we've seen enough of that. So we're just looking for really good execution.
Has it been valuable to have Al Borges here, kind of providing his expertise?
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, and I mean, Al's a good guy to be around for sure.
What does he kind of do? Does he help kind of take your ideas and Gus's ideas and kind of help?
No, he works with the tight ends. He's an offensive analyst for us, and does a lot of film stuff, and
Give you tips,
just
like
does a nice job. What's that?
Does he give you tips or anything like that?
Tips?
Like in my experience, this works.
Oh, no. He's doing a good job learning our offense, and a lot of fun to be around. Funny guy, you know him. So, yep.
This Sean, obviously, you got to see some of him in the spring. How has he kind of come out these first 3 days?
Yeah, really good. Really impressed. Sean's really smart. I mean, he's been around and played a lot for sure. I like what I've seen with Sean. You know, Sean's a guy that I lean on some too, because he's played here, you know, and you say, you know, little details of certain things that we're kind of, you know, when we're intermixing a few different concepts or whatever. Sean's done it a lot. So I like where Sean's mindset is. He's here to work and compete, and so far it's been really good.
How does this thing ramp up once the guys get in pads and you can start doing a little bit
Yeah,
more?
you definitely. It's hard to evaluate them with just helmets. You know, that's been one of the things the first couple of days. It's frustrating because of coach, because you're like, yeah, well, he could have been sacked. He could have been, you know, he might have made it through there or whatever. So I think it's important for us to continue to get several days in pads so we can really evaluate these guys completely.
A lot of us made in the spring, Sean, looking to add weight to increase their ability and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't get to do a ton in the spring by the way.
Sure.
Off-season, so after the off-season, how do you feel about his conditioning as he's?
Good. His weight's up. He's put some good weight on. I want to say he's in close to 215 maybe. I think it's been good weight. He's worked hard, you know, after his injury to rehab that. He says, you know, obviously, I asked him yesterday actually, and he said he feels really good. Arm, you know, where he had the injury and so forth. So I think he's put on some good weight. I think it'll help him stay healthy. The season's a grind, obviously. Got to continue to make good decisions at quarterback, no matter who's playing. Don't put ourselves in harm's way so much.
How do you handle that quarterback room when media guys like me and others are saying that it's a shoe-in Jarrett Stidham's starter?
Yeah, I don't really read what you guys write, so you know.
You gotta be serious, because it's everywhere.
No, I really don't. It's tunnel vision, man. And the reason is because as a coordinator, I think at this, you know, at a place like this, I mean, I got to focus on what's important. And I mean, I respect what you guys do for sure, 100%. But at the same time, you know, I'm with them every day. We're trying to make the best decision for Auburn and our team, and so really, it's not really an issue.
You said the other day that hopefully things will start to settle into the competition after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of a target date?
Well, I think it's more like we'll know when we know kind of thing. I don't really think we have a target date. I want to see them in a lot of situations. We can't do third down, red zone, 2-minute coming out, all that stuff, you know, in the same day. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a little time for those situations to play out before we make a decision. I mean, obviously we're gonna make one, but I think it'll be more when we'll know kind of thing.
Jarrett Stidham, just how does he look now compared to spring?
Good. He's continued to improve. His grasp of the offense is improving. You know, I think for Jarrett, it's just getting comfortable with our wideouts. You know, having these wideouts back. Kyle obviously being back with us, and I think that's continuing to improve. And the timing of different plays and understanding the timing against every look. You know, you run one play, and then there's 5 different defenses. You have to know where to go with the ball for one play. So imagine adding 10 or 12 plays. You know, it adds up. So I think Jarrett, the more he sees the looks, the more he sees and gets the reps, I think the better he'll get.
What do you like about the 2 tight end set that you're running with Jalen's having his hand on the ground and Sal kind of split out wide? That's a new little thing.
Yeah, I think you know, if you've got tight ends that you feel really good about and can play, I think it just helps you. It helps you be more versatile because defenses can get you in a bind if you don't have the ability to play the tight end some, even with his hand on the ground or just in the hip or wherever. So I think we're trying to figure ways to use our personnel to the best of our ability and give us the best opportunity. And it'll be a game plan thing each week.
What do you like best about Sal? I mean, as a player.
Yeah, Sal's got good ball skills. Sal's competitive, really competitive. I like what I've seen from him. He's got a little edge about him. It's impressive. He's a smart football player, knows how to route run, has really good body control. Does a great job catching the ball with his hands. So I like what he's bringing to the table so far.
The obvious question is the guy that moves the team the best, but what are you looking for out of your quarterback when you find that guy?
Yeah, and I think the team that moves the team best is right, but it's also the one that affects the other 10 guys the most. And what I mean by that is like tempo, okay? The quarterback's in charge of that. He's got to make sure that we're getting all the communication done. There's so much involved with running a play that the quarterback has to do that, you know, you may not realize until you're involved in it. So for me, it's about who affects the other 10 guys the best, and really, you know, even off on the sideline, you know, we can kind of set a standard of this is how we're going to practice our chin straps or buckle or whatever it is that we're trying to do. Well, I want the quarterback, the guy that's kind of, you know, sends the message that the coach is sending. You know, whatever we're saying, whatever I'm standing up in front of the offense saying, I think our quarterbacks ought to be the guys that are kind of bringing that message to our team.
How has Kyle looked these first few days? Obviously, didn't get to see him in the spring, and how much was he able to get up to speed in the summer there?
Yeah, he's done a great job since he's been back. He's really gotten in the film room and studied any of the things that we're doing that are a little different maybe he hadn't done before. He's very impressive, obviously physically, got a lot of natural ability. You know, he's like all of us. He needs to, you know, continue to improve. But I really like what I've seen so far.
Chip, how important is it, or is it, to you to spread the ball around and get the ball to a lot of different receivers?
Yeah, I think it's important because I think we need to be able to defend all the positions, try to make the defense defend the positions. At the same time, when you go into a game, I think it's important to identify your playmakers in fall camp, figure out who they are, build the offense around those guys, try to get them, the ball as much as you can. If it's both your running backs, like I've had before, then that was an emphasis. If your tight ends and your top 4 or 5 players, then definitely he's involved in that. If it's all your wideouts, I've had years where it's been that. So I think each year's different, and we're in the process of identifying that right now.
Okay. Malik Willis, how's he doing?
Good.
And also, you got lots of options with the offensive line. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think Malik has made a really big jump just from the mental side of learning the offense, more about communication with the O-line, with the receivers. I like the progress he's made. You can tell he's studied in the offseason. He's put some time in meetings and film room. I know he got with Sean and Jarrett, and they kind of met together some, and because those two guys have played, and so I like the progress he's made. The O-line, I think, the good thing is we added Casey and Wilson to, add a little depth, and we've added some young guys in the mix that we're still trying to figure out where they might fit. But I like the numbers we have. We're trying to, the whole thing will be now as we move through fall camp, identifying that right combination, and then having answers when things come up, things happen. How the season is. The SEC is a physical league, and you better have a plan in place in case something happens. But I really like where we are right now.
On Casey and Wilson specifically, just what have you seen from him early, and on Casey specifically,
Yeah.
what are your expectations for him? Could it be staying at center or moving to left guard?
Well, both those guys are mature guys. You can tell that. It's not like they're coming in and their head's spinning and their eyes are kind of big. I think they've handled themselves very, very well. They fit in pretty quick with their teammates, which is always important when you transfer and make a decision. But, from Casey's standpoint, he's really smart, and it's good because he's going to be a center, and it's smart for him. He's got really good feet. I like that. He's a strong kid. Wilson, obviously, is really strong, a big physical guy. Wilson's still, picking up the offense from a terminology standpoint, but really I think both of them are going to really play a big role for us at some point. Where and when, I'm not sure yet, but I'm glad they're here. I'll tell you that.
How much does a guy like Malik benefit from those early practices where you have those split sessions?
Yeah.
He gets some one-on-one time.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Miles, his deal was, hey, let's make these guys get all the reps in the second. Let them watch, see the older guys do it, and then we'll let those guys get the reps. I think it's huge, especially at quarterback, because he gets a chance to see Sean and Jarrett run the same play, and then he runs it later. And if he's really dialed in and paying attention like he should be, then he ought to do it as good or better than they did. And at least he's seen the looks before. So I think it's a huge benefit for the quarterback, but also all the other positions.
You mentioned freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Did you allow them to help you, or at least provide depth? Who are some guys on offense that caught your eye so far?
Yeah, and as far as providing depth, I'm not 100% sure of offensively. I just know as a whole, you're always looking for new guys to help you in special teams or whatever. I think Noah's done a really nice job at wideout. I've noticed him. He can really run, which we knew, but his ball skills have been really impressive. I've enjoyed seeing him. Devin Barrett has shown an explosive step. I like that. With the O-line, I'm not with them all the time in all the drill work, but just watching the video, obviously Trox and Calvin are really talented guys. I think will have a really bright future. John Samuel Shanker's a bright spot for sure. He's a guy that's played in a good program, you can tell, and he's coming here mentally and physically ready. So I think those are a handful of guys right there that have been impressive to me. Now, where they fit in 2017, time will tell.
You've let your quarterbacks work with outside coaches before, but because Gus never did, and they did do that this summer, just what did you see as far as the benefit for Jarrett to go out to California, for Sean to work with Ben? What do you see there?
Yeah, I think it's just those guys wanting to work on their craft. That's kind of my approach on it. I have talked with all those guys that our quarterbacks work with. I mean, it's not like I want them to go work with somebody off the street. I want to know at least who's dealing with. But really, they're working on their fundamentals. They're trying to improve. So, I haven't seen it as an issue ever in the past. And I know that I'm excited those guys are trying to work and get better.
I was just wondering, in your previous stops, have you gone live with quarterbacks in the scrimmage?
No, never have.
I
never have. No, I think we did here when I was in 13. I think we did. I've never done that. Personally, I haven't. No. In Arizona State, no, definitely. And
that way on catching the ball out of the backfield. I know that's a main
Yeah.
condition for him and what he's being asked to do.
Yeah, he's improved. His route running's improved, you know, because, you know, we know he can run the ball, but I want him to be really good in protection and really good in route running. And obviously his ball skills are fine. I just think he just needs to catch more and more reps. But I think he's improving in that area for sure. And I think that's only going to make him a better back.